Hello, I'm Carrie. I cosplay crochet and enjoy history bounding, and I'm going to participate in CAPEtember. When I first watched Shannon Makes video about CAPEtember, I was intrigued. It's like, okay, so not just a sew along, wanting to include fiber artists. Nice. People who knit and crochet, eh? Okay, that was it. I was in. I had been thinking about making a Sontag shawl. It's a specific type of shawl where the ends are longer so that you're able to wrap it around the body and it ties at the back, freeing up your hands. Very practical. I started by looking on Ravelry for a pattern. Not a lot of crochet Sontag shawl patterns. And the ones that they did have were you start in one end, go out, and then decrease, which in some ways makes a lot of sense. But I'm using thrifted material, and it's probably not all going to be one color. I need to be able to have rows where I can change color and it not look too weird. So having not much success finding a free pattern, I decided I'll make my own. This is me, why not? So I grabbed a random ball of yarn and just started trying to make triangles. Triangles with longer ends. Pattern experiments. This is the first triangle that I tried. I find it far too lacy and not quite the right shapes. The ends need to be more tapered. Then I tried this. Okay. More solid, using just clusters like V-stitches. But again, no tapering effect on the ends. Then we have this guy. I'm not quite sure why we have the weird swoopy doodles. I think it just has to do with how the increases went. But it was getting better. We definitely have tapering of the ends, which leads us to this. Relatively straight across. Okay, it's not exactly a triangle, but I think it's relatively the right shape needed to make a Sontag. This will be where the back is, and the ends will wrap around the body and tie. We started in the middle. There's one V-stitch. Went up the next row and did V-stitches into the holes of the previous round. And I think it will be very easy to add nice little scallops on the end when I'm finished, just to have a fun little bit of decor. I started by looking through my yarn stash. I found a few works in progress. Very thick yarn, and not enough of any one color to really be useful. My leftover green yarn. I've already used this for a couple of projects, and it's sport weight. Too thin and very bright. Hard to coordinate with other outfits. And lots of thin crochet cotton. Not what I wanted. So I went to my favorite thrift store and bought a couple of bags of tan and off-white mid-weight yarn. Don't really know quite why I have little curve swoop happening. Don't care that much to investigate. I obviously did something weird. But I don't think it should make that much of a difference because the ends are supposed to curve around the body and cross and bind and tie. So, okay. Apparently, the ball of yarn I grabbed was not the same as that, but it all blends in. I mean, it's a Sontag. I mean, it's supposed to be practical. It's fine. The only thing I'm concerned about is really making the ends nice and tapered so that it'll be easy to tie them. I definitely have a circle going on, not a triangle. Don't know how this is going to turn out, but it will be interesting. Okay, let's see how this is fitting. It does cross in front, but only back around. Oh, not quite to the side yet. How's the length look at the back? Not bad. Could use a little bit more length, but we're going to need a lot more for the ends. It's bigger. It is much bigger. It is so much bigger, I can't show you the entire thing all at once. We did end up with a very distinct little swoopy doodle at the end. That was me specifically trying to get those ends tapered out to be able to tie it. The overall pattern of this is just a bunch of V clusters. In the very middle, there is an extra, no, I put in 3 chain stitches just to hopefully make that a little bit more noticeable that that's the middle. I'm very happy with the scallops at the end. Also very easy. 2 chains in between the double crochets and then anchoring the scallop with a single crochet into the row previous. I think the colors blended very well. Oops, I didn't realize it was not the same tan. Oh well. And then at the very ends, I added just a little bit more to help with the tying, and it does. It does help having that little extra. When I tied it behind me, yes, I'm using mostly this part of the shawl, but I still then have a little bit extra to make it easier to tie up and undo. Now, I have the wonderful task of sewing in all of my ends. I don't know where all the ends are from there. And it's finished. It is definitely a little long in the body, but that will keep me nice and warm come this winter. I do want to say thank you very much to Shannon and Evie for doing this year's CAPEtember and opening it up to fiber artists like myself. It was very relaxing, having a nice, fun crochet project. I needed that in my life. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're thinking about participating in CAPEtember next year, I definitely recommend it. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. It's greatly appreciated. Until next time, have fun, be creative, and take care. This was my purse project when I first started it. So it just lived in my purse, and as I had time, oh, I'm on break from work. I'll crochet a little. Waiting in the doctor's office. This is what I would crochet. And of course, you know, home after work. Need to relax. A lot of crocheting.